Aamir Khan returns to the big screen with Sitare Zameen Par, his first theatrical release since Lal Singh Chadda, a heartfelt drama about a coach guiding specially abled players. This film premieres June 20th with no OTT deal, reinforcing Aamir Khan's belief that I am a cinema guy and trust in the theater experience. Join now as he sits down with Indus Age's Star Talk.
Tells a story of people who face different challenges. What
Mhm.
inspired you to make this film, and what message do you want to convey to the audience?
Well, when this material came up before me, I found it really touched my heart. It made me laugh. It's a very funny script, and so I really enjoyed the script, and I also felt that it's saying something really really important, and quite naturally I felt that it's a film that's going 10 steps ahead of Tare Zameen Par. Tare Zameen Par was about learning disabilities in children. This is about neurodivergence and people with intellectual disabilities. So I immediately, I mean, I just loved the script and I just loved it. So I was like, I have to do this film. And that's it. Yeah.
The film is described as a humorous take on a serious theme.
hmm
How did you strike a balance between comedy and the underlying profound message to ensure that both entertainment and the impact remains?
Yes, well, actually, this is the kind of genre of film that, like Raju Hirani makes. His films are usually dramas, but the vehicle he chooses is humor to tell the story. And I think that that's also a good way to really tackle important topics, in our society. Humor is something that we all get attracted to. Humor is something that makes us understand things in a way that, is very um, simple. In a simple way, you understand things with humor. So I think that, in fact, if you remember, even Dangal, we were saying something very important in Dangal, but the vehicle was humor. If you remember the entire voiceover of Omkar, my nephew in the film, he's the person who's the narrator of the film, and he's a humorous guy. So he keeps, saying things which are really funny. So I think that I really love this genre of movie making where you have. I love humor. I love comedy personally myself. And when we come across a script which is saying something so important and it's using humor to tell you that, it's a very wonderful combination. Yeah.
What was your biggest learning experience working with the cast of specially abled actors?
The biggest learning for me was they have no ego. They have absolutely no ego. And when they come on set, usually in our films, there's so many creative people working together. And quite naturally, there are differences, and sometimes ego clashes come in the way, and all these kind of things happen on film sets sometimes, and it's very natural. However, in this film, none of that happened. And I was discussing with Prasanna when we finished the shooting of the film, and I said, have you noticed that none of us have lost our cool on set? None of us have had any major differences creatively. I mean, differences of creativity that are normal, but you sometimes people lose their cool, which is not so nice. And I said the reason that's happened is because of these 10 people. Because when they come on set, they come with such a positive energy. They come with so much happiness, and they are so happy to be there. They're really team players. They're excited, and when they're around, it affects your energy, and it affects the way you are. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from them is they are so positive. They have so much love in their heart. They're so non-judgmental, uh, so inclusive. you know.
Did you train them or they just came raw
So
as an actor?
out of the 10, one of them has acted in a film before. So one of the characters we have, his name is the actor's name is Gopi. He's from Kerala. So his mother tongue is Malayalam. He does not speak Hindi, by the way. So that's another challenge, which I'll come to slightly later. But so the other nine of them are acting for the first time. They're not actors, but they are people with neurodivergence, and we they went through a normal casting process,
Mm.
and then we had rehearsals and workshops for them and for me as well, and for all of us. I mean, I do that for all my films, so nothing unusual. And then we started shooting, and we on set, and we were shooting, and I have to say that in my experience, there was absolutely no difference for me. Uh, I've worked, I don't know, 35 years now. So in all, I've done about 45, 50 films. I don't know how many. So there was absolutely no difference that there were neurodivergent actors I was working with. A lot of people ask me if, did it take time? Did you have to wait? And not at all. They were absolutely on the ball. They had rehearsed. They knew their lines. And like all of us, we may take a retake or two here and there. So there was no. You can imagine how difficult it must have been for Gopi, because he doesn't speak Hindi. Now, even for a neurotypical person, like for example, if I was to do a film in another language, it would be very difficult for me. I don't know the language. And here you have an actor who's neurodivergent, and he's speaking another language. He's doing a film in another language, which he doesn't know. So you can understand how capable they are. And we sometimes are too, we rush to judge people.
They had Aamir Khan coaching them also.
No, no,
So
they had
that's an
Prasanna coaching them,
advantage.
because all the rehearsals, mind you, I was not there for a single rehearsal.
Oh,
I was not there for a single rehearsal. In fact, Prasanna wanted that we rehearse separately, because if you notice in the film, once you see the film, you'll realize that the the coach doesn't get along too well with them. So he wanted that separation. So he coached them separately. He was with them. I wasn't.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Aamir, you have portrayed many great characters in your career.
Mm.
What was it like stepping into the role of a coach Gulshan, especially alongside 10 new actors?
Well, I have to say, Gulshan was a very entertaining character for me to play, because he's, in my real life, the way my mom has brought me up, I try to be very well behaved. I think I am fairly caring and sensitive to people. So my personality is a little more like Nikum Sir from Tare Zameen Par. But Gulshan is the exact opposite of that. He's very insensitive, thinks no end of himself, thinks he's always right, is rude, is uses offensive language. So in my real life, I don't get to do all of that. I'm too well behaved for that. I'm too well brought up. So here was an opportunity for me to, just enjoy myself and be rude to people and be politically incorrect, and so it was wonderful to be different. That's the wonderful thing about acting, is that you get to play characters which you are not. You know. So yeah, it was really enjoyable for me to do this part.
Because looking at the characters you have done, look at the Ghazni. I keep watching that movie.
Hmm.
So very different to what your different movies are.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, Tare was done just before Gajni. We did Tare Zameen Par, then we did Gajni, then I did Three Idiots.
Three Idiots, completely a different role.
Hmm.
You've done extreme, both the action packed comedy and other things, which we really
Gee,
love you for that.
thank you. Thank you.
Aamir Khan production often supports film that challenges social norm and encourage a new way of thinking.
Mm.
How does Sitare Zameen Par continue that tradition of impactful storytelling?
Yes, well, this is a really important story. I think that this issue of inclusion is very close to my heart. Tare Zameen Par was all about inclusion, and so is this. In fact, this goes 10 steps further. Um, and in Tare Zameen Par, which was a very emotional film, which makes you cry, the teacher was helping the student, and this time around, it is the students who are helping the coach. And so in that sense, it really goes way beyond. And I think that this, as a society, we really need to be much more inclusive with people with neurodivergence, or people who all of us have challenges. Yeah. All of us have challenges. All of us have strengths, and I'm really looking forward to the day where in India We have complete inclusion, starting from schools where we don't need special schools anymore, and regular schools. Uh, all kids, irrespective of what their abilities are or what their disabilities are or what their challenges are, all children should study together. You know, and that's when there will be real inclusion in our society, when we grow up together, holding each other's hands, understanding each other. Once we do that, then I think we'll truly be a inclusive society. So that's my dream, that's my hope.
I mean, how do you select all these great topics and themes and make a film? Means these are topics which Indian filmmakers generally don't look at, and you've made
Hmm.
such beautiful movies. And I know, I'm 100% sure Sitare Zameen Par will be an excellent movie. I'm waiting for to watch this on the first day of this
Gee,
in Sydney.
well, I have to say that uh, most of the scripts that I have done, in fact, I would say, other than a couple of scripts which I worked on myself very early in my career, all of the scripts have come to me, you know, through writers, through directors. So the real credit for the material is not mine. I have selected it, I have chosen to be a part of it. I've been excited by it. But it's not written by me. It's not conceived by me. It's not thought of by me. I sincerely believe that the process of filmmaking should be a very organic process. And by that, what I mean is that the start of a movie is when a writer puts his pen to paper and thinks of something, thinks of a thought, something that he or she is affected by, something that he or she wants to write about. Uh, and that is the organic way that the birth of a film happens through the mind of one person who decides who thinks of the story. And then it progresses from there, and a director gets attached, a producer gets attached, then actors get attached. So as an actor, I come, third or fourth down the line. Sometimes a writer may come to me directly, but I'm still second in line. So
Okay.
as opposed to me as a production house saying, listen, let's make a film on neurodivergence, let's try and write a script on it. I feel that's a slightly inorganic way of working. I'm instructing someone to write कि इस पे लिखो तो फिर वो लिख रहा है बेचारा as a professional thing. So I don't like films to be born in this manner. I want films to be born through the mind of a writer, and I want it to come to me organically. If the writer and director feel I'm right for it, it will come to me.
Mhm.
And then if I love it, I become a part of it. So I'm never the first person on a project, unless I'm writing it myself. And I feel that that's how it should be.
Given the current
So
market
the real
trends,
credit for all these stories really goes to the writers and directors of these films.
but you selected all these topics which are
Gee, I
you,
selected it, but I didn't write it, and that's actually the most important part. Certainly, that's what I believe.
given the current market trend favoring action-packed films, do
Hmm.
you have any apprehension about how socially driven narrative like Sitare Zameen will be received?
Yes, I do worry. I do worry. To be to
I
be
don't. I
very
don't.
to be very
I don't.
honest, because I find that for the last so many months, maybe a year, or two, maybe since COVID, uh, primarily action films have been doing well. The other ones, which are the big blockbusters, and it worries me. And I think that maybe audiences don't want to see anything other than action today. So that concern definitely is there. But along with that, I do also have a belief in my audience. I think that um, I don't think audiences will want to watch the same genre again and again. You know, and it will be a sad thing because I think the theatrical business really should have all kinds of films. As an audience, I don't want to watch only action films. As an audience, I want to watch comedy. I want to watch drama. I want to watch suspense, etc. So I hope that people really connect with the film, and that will also indicate to filmmakers. See, this is a very important thing. When a certain film does well, then that sends a very strong signal to filmmakers, directors, writers, actors, producers, that the audience would like to see something like this. So I'm hoping that'll happen. Fingers crossed. But
All
I
the
have
best.
noticed that every time my film comes, Rajesh, what happens is my film comes once in 3 years. So I'm never able to to be in sync with what the current success is all about. For example, when now Sitare is coming out and people are just watching action. However, when I did my action film Gajani, which was in I think 2008 or something, by the time my film released, action was out, and everyone told me, "Listen, action films haven't worked for the last 4 5 years. People are rejecting action, and now you're coming with an action film." So my timing is always off. I'm afraid.
Now, but your content is always far superior than majority of the filmmakers, because I've been watching all your movies, so I know exactly, and we look forward to this movie. Actually, I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you.
Reflecting on your journey with this film, how has it contributed to your personal and professional growth? And are there any lessons or experience that has left lasting impact on you?
As I said earlier, the experience of working with these 10 actors really did teach me a lot. Their positivity, their uh, empathy, the love they have in their heart, their non-judgmental uh, approach to life, and they're happy. We get so unhappy about things. We complain in life about so many things, and they are very accepting, of how life is going with them, and that's a remarkable quality.
You've stopped doing Satme Jayate and all that good serials or the things you used to do. Why you've stopped doing on television?
Well, after 3 seasons of Satyame Vijayate, Satya is a director of Satyame Vijayate. He and I are close friends, and we were speaking about the fourth season. And then during our discussions, what came out is that we felt that while there was a huge impact that every topic did on ground, and a lot of things changed as a result of these shows, still we were not happy about one thing, and that is that after a show comes out, then the next Sunday another show comes out, and then the third Sunday another show comes out, and then another show on the fourth Sunday. So we realized our desire was to stick with one topic, remain communicators. We are communicators. We are not activists. We are not experts in the field, but we are communicators. We understand communication. So we wanted to remain communicators, but work on one issue until we can make a significant difference in that field or issue. And which is why we chose water, and we chose Maharashtra, which is both Satya and I are Maharashtrians. Um, so we chose water and Maharashtra, and the entire team of Satyame Vijayate shifted to Pani Foundation. We started a non-profit company called Pani Foundation, which works in rural Maharashtra, and we've been doing that for now 9 years. Yeah.
55 billion liters of water you have saved. That's what I saw the YouTube
You
on that
visited our
yesterday.
website?
Uh,
Okay.
and it came,
Yeah.
and tremendous. So there's so many things you can really initiate. And India needs Pani is one of the biggest
It's a
problem
very
India
fundamental
will
issue.
face, will and is important. So we need more Satmar Jet stuff coming in, because
Yeah.
that will
Yeah.
really improve our country.
Yeah. So the entire team of Satyam Vijayate is now in Pani Foundation. Often people ask me, why can't you do Satyam Vijayate? It's because the team of Satyam Vijayate is now in Pani Foundation. So we can't be doing two things. And we really believe that the work we are doing in Pani Foundation is extremely important, and will have, um, huge ramifications as we go along. That's what we're
I think
hoping
we
for.
we need to expand countrywide, the whole India. You should be
Yes,
doing that slowly.
once you see, Maharashtra is bigger than Germany.
Yes,
So when we are working in Maharashtra, often we forget that actually we are working in a geographical area, which is the size bigger than a country in Europe.
I
So
agree with
that's
you.
what Maharashtra is. So once we get a handle on that, we would like definitely to take our success to the rest of the country. But right now we are still focusing on Maharashtra.
Yeah. Thank you for that. What would you like the audience to feel after watching Sitare Zameen Par?
Happy. I want them to feel happy. And I want them to feel that the next time they meet a neurodivergent person or a person whose abilities are different, their whole point of view, the way they look at that person, there should be a major shift in that. That's what I'm hoping. I want people to be happy and I want people to be sensitized.
Any message to the audience in Australia?
Well, my films have always really connected very strongly with an audience in Australia, and I really value that relationship. And so I'm really looking forward to the response of Australians to this film. I remember once, I met some of these cricketers, Australian cricketers. I think Alan Border was there. And there were some British cricketers who also, we were, I think, in Oberoi Hotel or something, and there was some cricket thing happening, and I bumped into them. And I remember Alan Border telling, I forget the British person's name, he was a very famous cricketer, I'm forgetting right now. And he said, have you seen Lagan? So the Australian, I think it was Alan Border, or was it... the captain of Australia at that time, Steve Waugh. I think it was Steve. I can't remember now. So it was one of them, and they were ribbing the British, 2-3 British cricketers and saying, "Have you all seen Lagan?"
Yeah. Thank you very much, Aamir, for your time.
Thank you, Rajesh.
You have fulfilled one of my dreams, because I've done interview 1-to-1 with all the Khans except you.
Okay.
And
well, it was a pleasure, Rajesh. Real pleasure.
So it was a pleasure talking to you, and wish you all the best for the movie.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Aamir. Bye-bye.
Australia's first Indian magazine to have a national reach. Indus Age is the largest circulated South Asian magazine in Australia with 5 simultaneous editions. 55,000 copies printed monthly. 220,000 readers. Largest network of clients. Undisputed leader in community news. Indus Age is circulated in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth to over 525 outlets. Grab your copy now to get the latest on the community, news from India, Bollywood, music and much more. For more info, log on to www.indusage.com.au.
Radio Bollywood beats, Desi beats in Aussie street. Radio beats.